Hey guys, this is Jason. I'm reviewing Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, directed by Gore Verbinski and stars Sam Rockwell, as a guy from the future that enters the diner and recruits a few certain people to join him to save the world before it all collapses, because he's been doing that a lot, and every time he tries to save the world, he always fails. So he's trying to change that every time he goes back in time to the same time period, because he's trying to stop a rogue AI from taking over the world and controlling all of humanity and creating chaos, and he's hoping that this type of time period with this type of group can help him change that. Gore Verbinski is known for having some visually stunning movies that are either serious films like The Weatherman, or be dark horror movies like The Ring and A Cure for Wellness, or would make his films feel more like slapstick films like Rango, or have it be a mix of both with his first three Pirates of the Caribbean films. And those movies are very weird and over the top, but they are great, and when he mixes both of them together, they make those films a lot of fun. For the most part, where his films are very well directed and well shot, especially with the cinematography, and this movie decides to go in the more comedic route, which oh man, this movie is crazy. It goes for so much stuff that'll get the audience confused and wondering what the heck did they just watch? Where it's one of those films that just gives you a lot of questions that you want answered, and you don't get a lot of those throughout the majority of the film. And you know what? I loved it. Like, this movie has a lot of humor that is funny, and also some dark humor where you're like, oh man. When it comes to the humor, this movie does nail at that. Every part in this humor just had me going, what? But still making me laugh at the same time. Sam Rockwell does a really good job in this film as this character that does start off a little crazy, and you would think that he's crazy until he starts explaining stuff about the future and how he knows a lot of the people in this diner that he's been to, where you still have some people looking at him going, does this guy need some help? Because he's kinda crazy. And he does kinda give off some Jack Sparrow vibes, and I'm not talking about the kind where he's just walking around goofy, not that kind of. I'm talking about like sort of the way he talks and how he moves around and tries to touch something to explain what he sees in the future. And the rest of the acting was pretty good. Michael Pena, Zazzie Beetz both do a really good job. Juno was good in the film, and I also liked Haliee Richardson in this film. And without getting into spoilers, she's kind of one of the more sympathetic characters in the film, where she starts off as a character that isn't interested in social media. She doesn't have an iPhone. She doesn't like to do all that because of the little issue that she has, and she goes through a problem with someone in her love life that does use social media and does some serious moments that kind of affect her relationship with that person. And Juno is also one of the more sympathetic characters, where she's going through a serious problem that is affecting her life, and when we see how that story continues, it leads to some pretty sympathetic and some weird moments where you're like, oh, what? This is also a very well shot movie, which is also something to expect from a Gore Verbinski film, where he would have his films looking beautiful with all the nighttime sequences, having a lot of blues and green lighting. Now, most of this film is just Sam Rockwell with a few people that's helping him go to another location that he needs to go to, but you also get flashbacks of the characters that he's with one by one, where not only you get to learn a little bit about their backstories, but you also get to understand why they decided to join him in the first place, where they start seeing some of the issues with social media and AI, which makes this film kind of a social commentary on how people use social media and AI. And this movie shows how AI can be kind of scary, especially with nowadays, since AI is popular now. Whether you have people getting stuck glued to the screen on their phones and not just looking away from it, or just using VR and not taking a break from that, where you can see how that can affect some people if they use it too much. And this movie, while it does it in an exaggerated way, does it in a very fun but also kind of realistic way, where you can kind of see some of that happening in real life if you're that concerned about AI. It also kind of shows that movies that focus on AI nowadays and movies from the past that also made AI a bad thing kind of feel more relevant in recent years. Like some of the movies we've gotten in the past, like the two Terminator films, have proven how bad AI can be and how it could possibly take over everything. And that's kind of a weird thing we're living in nowadays, where those films that were kind of poking fun at AI and thinking it's only a fictional thing is kind of becoming a real thing nowadays. What also could be a real thing is that we could be entering into the Wall-E universe, where a lot of people are just sitting down and looking at the screen and just not getting up and looking at everything and just letting all the robots do all the work. Now, when I watched Wall-E as a kid, I thought it was only a fictional thing, and it still kind of is. But now when I watch Wall-E as an adult, I'm like, yep, I can kind of see that happening in real life. And back to the humor, this movie has some moments where the humor feels completely out of nowhere, either in the dialogue or just from a visual thing that happens on screen, where it just feels random and you don't understand why it's there, but you're still laughing because of the way it was either delivered or shown, where you look at it and go, what is this is ridiculous, but I'm laughing. It's making me laugh. There's also a moment that happens in the third act that did catch me off guard and supposed to tie in to some of the stuff that was being set up in the beginning of the film. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, well, this is kind of unexpected. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is a great comedy that I had a lot of fun watching in the theater. It's fun, weird, dumb, insane, over the top, but it is worth watching on the big screen, and it's so far one of my favorite movies of 2026. It may not be for everyone. It does have some moments where they're like, huh? But if you don't mind that, then you're gonna have a blast with this one. I'm gonna give Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die an A+. So guys, if you have seen Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a great movie, or do you think that this is one of the worst movies of the year? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.